Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. My name is Javon Adams. You can call me J or J Love. That man is Ed Smith. He not only played professional baseball, which we're going to get into a little bit of baseball today, but he also played in that first Super Bowl bound team for the Atlanta Falcons. He is an author. He is a motivational speaker. What is good, my brother?
Oh, what's going on, Brother Jay? Another crazy week in the NFL. A lot of great sports going on around here, too. Even, I cannot believe, and they're getting ready for basketball already? The preseason? Oh, my goodness. That 82-game preseason schedule, man, that's a long one. But it's getting ready to kick off here soon.
And you're gonna be hating on the NBA with their regular season, as you always hate on the baseball and the NBA regular seasons. That is.
Well, I mean, baseball. We're in the postseason now, man. It's getting crunk. I mean, it's getting hot out there, boy. Some fighting words going on.
I want to start off with that. Because I want to get into the Cincinnati Bengals in just a moment. But before doing that, I do want to get into a little bit of baseball. So the playoffs are going on. You can take it however you want after you answer this, of course, question. But there's the young guys, or the upstart is the wrong word, but an organization in the San Diego Padres that want to usurp the Los Angeles Dodgers. They want to do so for the longest time. They've been spending a lot of money. I, for one, didn't think that they were going to be spending money for this many years. I thought it was going to be a jump in and jump right back out. So I definitely was wrong there. But they're facing each other in the divisional series here for Major League Baseball. And so the Dodgers won game one, and in game two, the Padres were taking it to the Dodgers. And it seems like Dodger fans and I say this because my grandmother was a Dodger fan, and so I'm kind of adjacent to it, but I'm more of a D-backs fan, but living here for so long and here in the Phoenix area. But it's like it seems like the pressure of having to win and having this one of the highest payrolls in baseball is overflowing. It has now kind of seeped into the fans. And there was an altercation with a fan throwing a baseball at one of the Padres players when they were in the outfield, and all these things. I mean, I wanted your take on that, because I know that you had an experience when you were playing in minor league level in one of the spots that you were in. I think it was it might have been during winter ball or something, where, some folks was trying to come at Ed Smith, and you didn't really know it, but thankfully they got you up out the spot. But I just want your thought about how fans seem to be, and in this case, and we don't have to go to a larger example of how fans seem to be crossing the line, but it just seems as if fans are feeling the pressure because they expect their squad to win no matter what, and just roll over folks. And when that doesn't happen, the angst seems to come out.
I'll tell you what this is all about, Jay. This is all about hate. This is about hating your neighbor. This is about Padres fans who hate the fact that nobody ever talks about them. It's all about the Dodgers, all up and down L.A. and across the country, all about the Dodgers, never about them. They go out and spend the money to try to be like Big Brother, but you still ain't going to get the props like Big Brother. Now, the Dodgers, they're king of the block, and they hate the Padres. And, for them trying to be like them and bite their rhymes. So you got two organizations and two fan bases that literally hate each other. So what's going to happen? That hate is going to spill out and pour out. And it couldn't have worked out any better. And I'll take you all the way across the country. Same thing. Mets, Phillies hate each other. That's from my hometown. You're either Phillies fan or New York, one of the New York teams, where they hate each other. So the same thing, the vitriol is going to come out. And that is no more evident than last night, with your Pro 4 stealing the home run in the first, kind of egging the fans on. So you can imagine the whole time he's standing there with his back to him, they're MFing him and cussing him out like you can't imagine. I've been there before. I've been out in the field where I made a great player, did something, and all of a sudden the fans start getting on you, and you slowly give them the finger, like, down your leg. You just, stand there, not doing it, but, you wipe, just something like this, just to let them know F you too. And that can take it many different ways in this series, because these two teams hate each other. that's all we're going to get is hate. And I love it. I mean, that's what playoff baseball should be. Minus guys getting hit and stuff like that, because that's when it goes overboard. I don't mind fans supporting their team. Now, I do not like fans throwing balls onto the field of play or doing anything stupid like that. You're endangering players. Stop that. But as far as the right to say certain things up to a line, I've heard things across lines. But you can tell Manny Machado, I hate you. Go home. Go to San Diego. Man, he sucks. Man, I mean, I love those chants. So we're going to get a whole lot more of that. Just keep it respectful and don't cross lines. But as far as these two teams liking each other or organizations, nah. That's what it's all about. That's what playoff baseball is about. That ups the ante even more and puts even more pressure on maybe the Dodgers. Now that Padres are coming in and snuck one out here, puts even more pressure on them. They got to now go down and get one in San Diego, and that's not going to be easy to do. And wait till we get down there to that series kickoff tomorrow. Woo, that's going to be something to watch, bro.
So you are all in favor of that does, because it makes me think of, it's a different sport when I mention this example, but when you think of the NBA in the 90s, right? So a lot of those, when you had those matchups, when you had the Pistons, the Knicks, the Pacers, I mean, there was intensity in each one of those series. I can remember with the Lakers, when the Lakers in the early 2000s, with the Lakers and the Trailblazers. And so there were some of those series that you knew that we're going to be a little bit more physical, and with the Kings, etc. So when you have the playoffs, because there is so much, it is great to be able to have a little bit of, I guess, a little bit of hatred that fuels things.
It does, and that's what it's all about. I remember, you talk about basketball going back into the mid-'90s. I'm a Bulls fan, and I had lunch with a good friend the other day, and I was talking to him about, he's a Knicks fan. He's from New York. And I told him, he was talking about how the trade with Cat, Karl Anthony Towns, we were talking about how that might be good or bad. And he started going back into the day of, his favorite Knicks and this. And I had to stop him. I was like, I was a Bulls man, and I hate the Knicks to this day. I wasn't even going to tell him that until he started talking about them old-time Knicks and brought him up, and I had to let him know. John Starks, most hated man in the world to me. Couldn't stand him because of his attitude toward my one Michael Jordan and stuff like that. So, I mean, if it's fans, we carry that with us, and it's a good thing. I got my Duke hatred, North Carolina right here. I love supporting my teams just like all fans should. We just got to make sure we keep it in the stands and between the lines. You can't let that stuff spill out.
Yes, sir. So Easy Sports Talk Show with Ed Smith and Javon Adams. We do this thing 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Make sure you tell a friend about what we have going on here. You can also go to easysportstalk.com. We also have another podcast that we do. It's called Believe in the Arizona Cardinals. Believe in the Arizona Cardinals. That's every Monday and Thursday. So the a new show is out today. So make sure you check that out. If you're not an Arizona Cardinal fan, then make sure you share that with one of your friends who's an Arizona Cardinal fan. Just search Believe, BLEAV, in the Arizona Cardinals wherever you find your podcast. So you mentioned football that's going on right now, and I wanted to talk a little bit about that, and specifically when it comes to, I'm a big guy, you're aware of this, on expectations. And the expectations for the Cincinnati Bengals were much more than after 5 games being 1-4. I wanted your opinion on, is 1-4 when players who had high hopes for the way in which their season would go start to lower their intensity. Can they be blamed for that if they do, or is this where you need to be a professional? You're getting paid, you're a professional, you're getting paid, you got to come ready to go. You might not be as happy about I didn't say to be happy about your situation, but to be professional. Is this with the Cincinnati Bengals? Is this where you start to see the intensity and look at players in a different way where the Cincinnati Bengals are concerned after a 1-4 start?
Well, obviously, we're not in their locker room, so it's hard to say. But from the outside looking in, I would dare the Cincinnati Bengals are getting exactly what they earned so far this year. Meaning, during the offseason, It was all about who's getting paid. Burrow had gotten his money. Jamar Chase, he's going to do a sit-in. I'm not going to sit out, but I'm going to sit in. I'm not going to work out. I'm not going to do anything until I make my contract, do what you got to do. You got T. Higgins there. Everybody's disgruntled. Meanwhile, Jamar Chase has the audacity, the nerve to make a statement. Everybody knows we're the team to beat. Meanwhile, you got a team that won the last 2 Super Bowls, 3 out of 5, going for a three-peat, and you're the team to beat. That shows the arrogance and the fact that you're not looking at the same movie that we are. We just watched The Color Purple, and, I mean, it's a heartwarming, feeling movie, and you walk around like it's a action-packed, shoot-'em-up movie or something like that. It's like we're not looking at the same film. And I'm not looking at the same game when I'm thinking about the Cincinnati Bengals. All that talk and nothing to back it up. So they're getting exactly what they deserve. Now, we'll find out what their character is moving forward. If you continue or if you start laying down and we see some of these games that you should be winning to try to get yourself back into it, but you look like doo-doo and play like doo-doo, then we know that what your character is and what is most important to you. So as far as Cincinnati, that's a team that's underachieved like you cannot imagine, but it's all on them. We haven't talked about a whole bunch of injuries and things that have held them back this year. No, they've held themselves back, and they continue to mess up my pool each week. So, that's where they stand for me right now. I got no love and no sympathy for them. Pull your big boys up and go out there and play some big boy football. Otherwise, I don't want to hear your mouths talking about, we're the team to beat.
Yeah, it seems like definitely a fine line between arrogance and confidence. And it's arrogance. And you see a lot of that, the holding in. And I wonder, and you mentioned also about this, so there's that. And then we talked about on the Believe in the Arizona Cardinals podcast about playing your team, playing players during the preseason to be able to try to understand where it comes, because we talked about Marvin Harrison Jr. Not living up to what we thought he was going to walk in as, just take him out of the box and he was going to be ready to go. But that's not so. Things of some star flashes from him.
Yeah, you broke up just a little bit. I didn't get the full question. I know you're talking about Marvin and, not lack of playing in the preseason. And, I mean, that's just the nature of the beast these days with these teams. And I can't understand it. You got kids coming in from, college, not playing with the quarterback, not knowing the speed of the game, yet you want to get them as little work as possible to try to keep them healthy. But you're not. I think I mentioned it in the Believe podcast. The offseason and preseason are about education. That's when you should be doing all your learning. How do you run routes? What to expect? Man press. How do you get off of it? Preseason games, that's why they're very valuable. You're not going to see a lot of scheme, but you're going to be playing against other competition in game type situation. You don't get that, then all of a sudden the first week of the season starts and these kids are overwhelmed because they've never seen anybody get all up in their grill, try to keep them on the line. And this is where it all counts. During the preseason, when you're playing against each other, just slap handing. All of a sudden you get into competition against number one cornerbacks, shutdown cornerbacks, who out there, their main goal is to keep you on the line of scrimmage and out of the stat book. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Some of these young guys, it's taking them time to catch up. And I can't necessarily blame it all on them because they haven't gotten the work to this point, and it's going to take a little longer to see them develop.
Indeed. So he is Ed Smith. I'm Javon Adams. Again, we do this 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Go to easysportstalk.com, easysportstalk.com. Also subscribe to the YouTube channel at The Easy Sports Talk Show, at The Easy Sports Talk Show. And as we always like to say around this time, Ayukin.